Hey everybody, this is Cyrus, and welcome to Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics, where we talk about complex life after death related subjects on this channel, as well as metaphysical topics of various kind. And today I am reporting from 66th level of the elite residences of Dubai. And this is one of the mightiest cities in the world. Just take a look at this place. So I talk about astral projection, and I think sometimes our world, our density is giving the astral planet a run for its money because this place is crazy. I don't even have a good view of the bay because if I go to the other balcony, you can look out across and see these giant temples in the distance, and the temples are actually just hotels. One is called the Atlantis, I think, but they look like, I don't know, it looks like science fiction. But anyway, well, you might be wondering, how much does it cost to be in a place like this? Well, the cost of where I'm staying right now is a whole $15 US a night. It's because I was booked to a hostel, and they upgraded me because that hostel was suddenly closed for renovations, and so they put me here instead, and so definitely got a bit of a deal. Top floor view of Dubai, not bad. Well, anyway, so on the topic of Dubai, if there's one thing that can crush entire empires, it's grief. And so I wanted to make a quick video talking about grief because many people who watch this channel, many people who participate in the community are people who have lost loved ones. And I can think of dozens of people off the top of my head who lost children. And I think it's because a bunch of people were introduced to this work through Helping Parents Heal, which is a group for parents who lost children. So suffice to say, there's many people who are suffering from grief. And sometimes the afterlife data is one thing that can really help alleviate that, because the objective evidence for these spiritual worlds shows us that the people we know and love are still with us, but not in an intangible way, but in a very much a tangible way, in the sense that they are in a different dimension, where they are still very much themselves. They very much haven't lost what it is that made them who and what they are. So this is in contrast to a couple different areas of philosophy. One is, of course, materialism, that tells people to just move on because your loved one doesn't exist anymore. And we know that it's both false and damaging as a belief, but this is still pushed upon society. And by the way, materialism is closely related to, I would say, the pursuit of materialism, this kind of stuff. When you don't have greater spiritual pursuits, then your priorities tend to shift into how can you conquer the material world around you? How do you win at this game because there's nothing else? And would we be seeing cities like this in a world where people were more spiritually advanced? I don't know. The second philosophy is Christianity, or mainstream religion. And the issue with this path is that it's very much married also to materialistic ideas, because there's still kind of like a form of extinction. So you may hear them say that your loved one has merged with God, or is now worshiping the Savior, or is with Jesus, or is just plain part of God in some kind of a white environment, just worshiping His holiness, the supreme deity, the creator for infinity. That's kind of the end game with Christianity, which is also just mindlessly boring to me. I can't imagine a worse fate than giving up your individuality and everything about you that makes you who and what you are and what you desire and what your role in the cosmos is. So the alternative to these things is the objective pursuit of spiritual knowledge, where we learn about how people who die are still themselves. And this is the thing that, in my mind, really can help cure grief. because it doesn't help to learn that a loved one has merged with the universe, whether that's through Christianity or some kind of New Age belief system, because that is philosophically the same as dying. Still, that loved one no longer exists as you know them. And then we are hit by that crushing existential anguish that how can somebody who was the cornerstone of our universe, how can that person who seems fundamental to the entire cosmos, something that could never not exist, how could this person no longer exist? How can this personality that meant everything to me suddenly disappear? And some of that grief, I believe, is an existential angst, because we're being told something that violates what we know deep inside, which is that such an idea is ludicrous and impossible. We know deep inside that it's impossible, and yet authorities will tell us that not only is this what happens, but it is the way the universe works. And this can result in a severe depression, because we know deep inside that that's not the way this works, that a personality that has developed a soul is a permanent part of the universe. You know, no matter what incarnation that soul goes on to develop, a personality is a divine element. And I even say this to certain Eastern religious sects that believe that the personality is an illusion. We have to shed the personality and go back to some blank slate because the personality isn't real. And I don't believe in that either. It's again just a variant of the same idea. And all varieties of this idea will cause intense grief because it's not natural, and it hurts people to think like this. So I think one area of knowledge that seems to have the most effect with curing grief is objective spirituality, objective spiritual contact, after-death communication, out-of-body experience or research, direct spirit communication, evidential mediumship, trance mediumship, physical mediumship, and other offshoots thereof, including the subject of materializations, apparitions, crisis apparitions, to name a few subjects in this area, all of which point to the theme that our loved ones are still living, existing in a different wavelength. As an out-of-body practitioner myself, I've learned how to be in contact with many people who have crossed over, and many people I never even met on this side who I meet for the first time on that side, and I've been able to ask them many questions about their world, which is what brought me to writing my first two books. On that note, I will say that I've been developing more ways to teach people about out-of-body experiences. I'd like to begin teaching and sharing that more with people who watch these videos. So if you want to support the work I do, support a wandering nomad backpacker who tries to spread light on these topics, then if you want to become a student, it comes with an unlimited access to me. So anytime you want to talk on Skype or Zoom, I'm happy to, as long as my schedule allows it, meet with you one-on-one and help you along with some of these techniques that I think can help people establish that connection to the other side. No, I can't guarantee it, but for some of us, it does work, and sometimes just becoming aware of these topics is enough to begin initiating experiences with the other side. So if you want to become a student, I offer that for patrons at patreon.com/afterlife topics in the description down below. But even without that, though, I just want to say, though, if you're on a journey of grief, and I know because I've lost both my parents and my brother in the last couple of years, this to me, I just don't know where I'd be without it. If it wasn't for me delving into this world, being a part of it, and experiencing the things that I've been able to experience, then, I don't know. I mean, I think I'd be stuck in that same existential sort of anger that so many other people feel, and it's very serious. Grief has the power to topple an empire, because you can build the greatest buildings in the world, but none of that will save us from the pain of losing our loved ones. All it'll ever be is just a distraction. Well, I guess that's it for this video. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. It helps keep this channel going. And I guess that's it. I'm gonna go hike into this blazing hot early evening heat. and look for some food, I think. So let's take a look at Dubai one last time. You know, the traffic's not so bad here either. And it really isn't, it's not that expensive here. It's cheaper here than West Los Angeles by a long shot. So it's not a bad place to relocate to. People tell me it's nice here, there's not much crime. Anyway, I guess I'll catch you guys on the next video.